On March 30th, 2022, airport officers were called to deal with a disruptive woman near a boarding gate. She was denied boarding for unknown reasons, which caused her to lash out at airline staff and passengers.
Intoxicated. Okay. Originally she said you don't know what's in the bag. That was a little weird. I would say we don't know. She refused to give us her name. I think her first name is Lindsay.
Yeah, hopefully y'all remember me.
To me, she's causing a disturbance at this point. So if we can have her removed and if we can get her name.
The woman shouted profanities loudly, catching the attention of everyone nearby. She refused to calm down and created a scene that delayed operations. Despite multiple attempts by the officers to de-escalate the situation, she continued her aggressive behavior.
What's your name? Is it Lindsay? I'm not worried.
Lindsay.
What's your name?
Lindsay?
I'm just trying to.
Lindsay?
What's your name?
Lindsay? No, I ain't Lindsay.
Okay, so what's your name?
What's my name? Let's do this on TV. What's my name? What about the kids? Do I look like the little kid?
Okay.
What was his name? What was that kid from Cuba? What was the kid from Cuba? That nobody knew his name was?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Is this your
I'm
dog?
listening. I'm listening.
Is this your dog?
Is that guy right there?
Is this
Is
your
that
dog?
my dog?
Is this your dog?
Yeah, he's my dog.
Turn around. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Put the bag down.
Emilio Gonzalez, that was his name. He was a Cuban kid.
Control 14.
Remember him?
14.
Emilio.
You good?
Other hand. Other hand.
The officers approached her and tried to ask for her name, but she refused to cooperate. Instead of answering, she started ranting about unrelated topics, making it even harder for them to understand her. She appeared agitated and erratic, going from yelling to talking about random stories involving dogs and people she seemed to make up. This left everyone confused, including those watching nearby. When the officers asked her to calm down again, she suddenly brought up her dog. She claimed someone had taken it, but there was no clear explanation of what she was talking about. The officers tried to reassure her and asked if she had any trusted contacts in the city to take care of her dog, but she dismissed their questions. Her focus kept shifting, and it became clear she wasn't in a stable state of mind. As things escalated, the officers informed her she might be charged with disorderly conduct if she didn't stop causing trouble.
I asked you what's that your dog earlier. And you don't want to talk to me.
71 Delta. Fight for your life.
Okay. What do we need to do about this dog?
Well, let's, did you come here to visit somebody?
I am flying to Boston.
Listen to me.
I'm flying to Boston.
Where did you start today?
I started in Tampa, where I own my other house.
Tampa to flew here.
To Boston.
Now you're supposed to go to Boston.
Where I'm going.
Okay.
Yes.
I need you to think really hard. Do you know anyone that you would trust with your dog in
As the officers moved her away from the crowded gate area, her behavior became even more unpredictable. She began yelling numbers randomly as if she were counting something, but none of it made sense. This left everyone, including the officers, baffled. One officer tried to reason with her, asking her where she had last seen the dog, but she refused to cooperate.
Control 14. I'll be transporting a vehicle 6595 from Charlie 19 to...
The officers then decide to finally take her in custody.
Assisting a officer from the airport with a suspect. Gotcha.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. I just said I'm assisting another officer with a suspect.
After repeated attempts to de-escalate the situation, the officers informed the woman that she was under arrest for disorderly conduct. Instead of complying, she began yelling louder, attracting even more attention from passengers and airline staff. She refused to stand up and claimed she couldn't move, though moments earlier, she had been pacing around the gate. The officers asked her to cooperate, but she continued resisting. She started accusing them of mistreating her and making dramatic statements about being a victim.
Draw blood, do what they need to do, and say, hey, she's okay. We'll send her back out. Hey, ma'am. Hey. I see your eyes moving. Wake up. Hey. Wake up. Wake up for me. Wake up. Man, wake on up.
At one point, she fell to the ground intentionally, refusing to stand up. She demanded medical attention and insisted she couldn't move, though there were no visible signs of injury. The officers called for backup and medical personnel, as her behavior was unpredictable.
There's nothing wrong with you. Probably been drinking a little bit. Wake up, ma'am. Wake up.
Please don't.
I'm Officer White. Just want to let you know I'm audio and video recording.
Please don't. Please don't.
Sit down.
What are you doing?
After taken to a secure holding area, the woman's behavior didn't improve. She began shouting at the officers again, accusing them of mistreating her and demanding to be released immediately. She refused to answer basic questions like her name and contact information, making the processing even more difficult. The officers tried to explain the charges against her, but she interrupted them repeatedly, denying any wrongdoing. She claimed she was simply trying to board her flight and blamed the airline staff for creating the problem. Her tone alternated between pleading and confrontational, making it hard to predict how she would react next. She started banging on the walls and demanded to speak with a lawyer, though she hadn't yet provided her name. The officers reminded her that they needed her cooperation to proceed, but she ignored them and continued yelling. She also brought up her dog again, accusing the officers of hiding it from her, though they had no evidence she even had a dog with her at the airport.
Just sit down. Just sit down. Sit down.
Was she on the plane?
She got denied boarding.
She what?
She got denied boarding, and she was cussing the flight attendants out. I tried to go help her. She started cussing me out and everybody else around now.
As the woman's behavior grew more erratic, the officers decided to call for medical assistance to ensure she wasn't in physical distress. When the paramedics arrived, she initially refused to let them check her vital signs, claiming they were part of the conspiracy against her. She accused them of trying to inject her with something and demanded to see their credentials.
My dog! Where's my dog? Where's my dog? Please.
Sit down.
Please. What the fuck? Why would you take a little dog?
Probably did. She's more disorderly.
What's wrong with you, Lee? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you, man? What the?
After several minutes of back and forth, she reluctantly allowed them to check her blood pressure and heart rate. The paramedics determined that she wasn't in immediate danger, but noted that her erratic behavior could be a sign of mental health issues. They recommended further evaluation, but she refused, saying she didn't trust doctors.
So this, say you want to get home to your dogs, you have to go through this process to do that. I need you to stand up on your own, ma'am.
Hold on to her until she's in here.
Ma'am. Did y'all tase her?
No.
Y'all want to? Miss, just stand up and walk.
When I bang my head off this fucking floor,
So are you suicidal?
check my blood sugar.
Are you suicidal?
Just check your nurse. You got a nurse here? You got a medical professional?
Miss,
A doctor up in here? You got a doctor up in here?
you're the only doctor we need, ma'am.
Yeah.
Are you sick, injured, or suicidal?
The officers informed her that if she didn't cooperate, she might have to stay in custody longer. This only made her more upset, and she began shouting again, accusing everyone in the room of plotting against her. Her resistance made it clear that the situation was far from resolved, and the officers had to decide the best course of action. She made several dramatic statements, claiming she was a victim of injustice and that the entire incident was a misunderstanding. She accused the airline staff of targeting her and suggested that the officers were biased against her. Her refusal to cooperate made the process of transferring her even more difficult. The woman was officially charged with disorderly conduct following her disruptive behavior at the airport. Her actions included shouting profanities at airline staff and passengers, refusing to cooperate with officers, and causing significant delays in the boarding area. The charge was filed because her behavior disrupted public order and created an unsafe environment for others at the airport. In addition to disorderly conduct, her refusal to comply with officers' instructions and resistance during the arrest could potentially lead to additional charges. This included obstruction of justice, as she repeatedly refused to provide her name or cooperate during questioning, and public intoxication if her erratic behavior was determined to be influenced by substances. But now, if you think that's crazy, then I am sure you haven't met this guy at your right-hand side.